He's running away. The Butcher of the East, everyone. Hello, hello, welcome back to the channel and back to Fallout New Vegas. You joined me here at Hoover Dam with Colonel Moore, Paladin Todd, and some random NCR soldier. So, yep, as you saw pop up on the screen there, so next thing to do is you'll know when it happens, so we need to go and speak to Ranger Grant. Who is over here. Hello.
We've got a lot to do to prepare for the president's visit and not much time. Bye.
So just to clarify what's going on here, this is a known bug apparently where if you're already in Hoover Dam and you go and speak to Ranger Grant, he doesn't give you any dialogue about organising for the president's visit. So I've had to spend a bit of time googling and messing about with console commands just to get this quest to actually work properly. So that's kind of what's been going on here, just to clarify. Okay. Why did that not work?
I've heard of you.
There we go, fixed it. New Vegas is gonna New Vegas.
All the help we can get from people we can trust. We've got a lot to do to prepare for the president's visit and not much time. Once we start, we'll be on a strict timetable. Are you ready?
I have some questions.
Ask your questions, but keep it short.
Yeah. Do you have a detailed schedule?
I have a full security detail consists of snipers and sharpshooters have been assigned to. I've also locked down.
I'm gonna need access.
All right, I'll give you full access.
Good man.
The Legion will definitely try something. We don't have any solid leads yet.
It's just like, yep, they're gonna do something, we're sure. Yeah.
Given the circumstances, there's a possibility of something more subtle, like sabotage. But since we don't have anything solid, we'll just have to keep our eyes out for anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
We trust you, so you're free to have your weapons. Just don't do anything too crazy, and we'll back you up.
Right. Okay.
If there's... Good. The president doesn't arrive until tomorrow. Get some rest. I'll brief you in the morning.
Okay.
Glad you could join us. Most of my men are already on duty, and the crowd has already started gathering outside. We've got a busy day ahead of us. President Kimball is arriving shortly. If you want to do any last-minute security sweeps or take a look around for anything suspicious, do it now. Once you're ready, meet me outside on the observation deck. But don't take too long.
Sure thing. Right. Okay, I think we're just going to do this the old-fashioned way. I mean, there's a few different options depending on your skills and perks and the like.
Have you finished your security sweep? Looks like that's his vertibird. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some security.
Okay.
Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind?
Oh. Hi.
Do you mind?
Nothing's gonna happen to the president.
Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind?
Where's the way down?
We got ourselves a little Ranger family reunion here. Time's right for a feud.
I can't get down.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming out here today for this very special occasion. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the President
You be
of the
keeping
new
an eye out for
California Republic,
A bomb,
Aaron
President's
Kimball.
vertibird. Only we have to get the president. We can't rely.
Thank you, fellow Californians, who have come so far to answer the call to service put forth by the Republic. It is for you that I have come here, and it is because of you that I am able to do so. We enjoy our privileges because you take the greatest of risks, and are prepared to make the most of them.
I'm out of here.
Come on, get a better view. So yeah, if you don't take care of the sniper on that tower, then when Ranger Grant goes to get the president, he takes a shot and kills one of the Rangers instead, which is a good way of getting your hands on some NCR, or not, since the body is teleported. But at least the vertibird won't explode. So yeah, it's having a bit of a buggy start today. Things going a bit weird, but yeah, quest doesn't update until the vertibird disappears. But we saved the president, so guys, it's over. You can all stop panicking now. It's fine. President's safe. So yeah, hello.
Is the president safe?
Yes.
Good. His death could have had a major impact on morale. This whole affair was ill-advised from the start, and I, for one, am glad it's over.
Sure.
While you were out, General Oliver arrived and briefed all senior officers regarding a change in our strategy. I'm not at liberty to divulge what was said, but I've been instructed to send you to him immediately. He set up his camp in the office area at the south end of this power plant. Dismissed.
Sure thing. So, yep, this is the battle for Hoover Dam. So if we want to do before, so the game will drop a like pre-end game save for you to go back to, so that you can do DLC and stuff. So we're committed to fighting with the NCR in the battle for Hoover Dam, and determine the fate of New Vegas for decades to come. If there's anything you want to do now before you enter battle, do it now. Let's do this. Here we go. Hello.
Well, you took your sweet ass time coming here. Let's get down to brass
It's
tacks.
been like 30 seconds,
We need to
mate,
get
chill.
this thing moving if we want to keep the element of surprise.
I don't actually like this man very much. I feel like his attitude's a bit... what's it about?
You've done some great work for us up to this point, and we're hoping to use your unique abilities to aid us once again. Thanks to the task my subordinates have delegated to you, the NCR now has a unique opportunity.
And what's that?
We now have a chance to take the fight to those bastards on their home turf. I'm in the beginning stages of planning out an assault on the fort. I've made calls to our allies, and they're on their way to our position. Once our forces are in place in garrison here, we'll begin our assault.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think since we're going straight into battle, let's get energy weapons up, because that's what I'm using.
Sir, I don't know what happened. A bunch of Legionnaires just stormed into the power station.
Of course they did.
Into the power station? How is that possible?
I don't know, sir. There was some talk of them entering through the clog intake tunnels, but I don't have any confirmation. On my way up here, there was some chatter about their commander, the Legate, I think he's called, set up at some kind of base on the eastern bank.
Okay, listen here. Unless we can get some additional support, I'm gonna need you to help me resolve this situation. You need to make your way to this camp they have on the eastern bank and take out the Legate. That should hamstring this attack.
Okay.
Thanks for your support. I'll make sure the NCR emergency radio is up and running. Go kill those bastards.
So this is the thing, I mean, you're...
Good gracious. The Legion is using the intake tunnels to storm their way into the dam. Someone has to stop them.
That's why I'm here.
I think that you should be able to divert the flow of the water into the generator turbines. That would grind them up like a hamburger.
Lovely.
The computer to activate it is just ahead, but you may need to go outside to activate the manual override. That system hasn't been used in a while.
Okay, on it.
Good luck. I'm gonna find a place to not get shot.
Good luck with that, Mike. Yeah, so basic. Just running through the door without even opening it first. Let's see. Yeah, Q35 Magnum. Goodbye, Centurion. Right, okay. So Mike Lawson there is telling me I need to do. Oh. Shut up. Good. Thanks, guys. Right. See, who needs to turn on the turbines to mash them launching up? I have a very nice plasma rifle that's doing the job pretty effectively, to be honest. Is it this? No. Game, you need to be a wee bit more specific here. Right, okay, but so that's great. Science for 65. What's my science at the moment? 60. Sure, let's do that. Right, manual override 12. Which is where? Ah, right, okay, yep, I see. I see. I think. There you go. So yeah, you can do that and literally flush the Legion through the system. So now I guess we need to go through and we need to get to the Legate's camp. Hi guys. Bye guys. Ah, crap. I'm in trouble. I know, I know, I know.
Retribution!
Shut up.
Retribution!
Who is throwing bombs around? Go away. Ah.
Let's get going.
Had enough?
Go away. Well done, lads. It's not where I need to be, is it? No. Come on then. I'm quite sure. Get on you know, the shotgun and a super sledge. Right, let's get the old health topped up again. Bad habit this, that I just go charging in. Anyway. Made me miss the boomers dropping their ordnance. Well, now you're in goo pile. Right, checkpoint. Very hard slot terminal. I don't even know what would be on that.
Alpha Squad reporting in. Thanks for the support back there. We've been assigned to ensure you make it to the Legate. How can we be of assistance?
Oh, good. Yeah, snipers
Roger
cover
that.
my advance.
I'll have
That
snipers
sounds
move
good.
to position.
Let's get going. Watch out! Watch out!
I mean, that's literally not what I said, but okay. Fair enough. Centuries. Okay. Why did you even ask me if you're not? Oh. It's fine. I'll just be a bloody one-woman army and deal with myself. You guys just go and have a coffee or something. I've got this. It's like, what do you want us to do to help? And then you tell them, and then they're just like, okay, we're not going to do any of what you just said. We're just going to make shit up on our own. Whatever. Like the boomers. They came in and did what they said they would. They come in and... Spawning behind me. Go away. You missed. And so did I, but still. Bye. It's so nice when you get a crit with this gun and they just disintegrate. Almost there. Right. Are you guys actually planning on helping at all? No? Okay. Because I'm pretty sure that another bunch of Legion are gonna spawn just in a second. Yep. Sorry, dog. That I feel guilty about. It's not the dog's fault. All right. Right. Yeah, I'm not, like, literally they're just, like, not even remotely coming to help me at all.
Come on!
Where the hell did you come from? Excuse you. See, this is the issue with the NCR, is that they don't bloody keep their promises. They're like, oh yeah, we'll cover your advance. Where are they? They're just not here. Just like, she's got this. She's got it. Why bring an entire NCR army when one woman can basically assault the... Oh, here it comes.
There you are.
Yeah. Ah, hello. Ah, crap, I'm actually in a bit of trouble here.
You'll pay for that!
Excuse me. Drop a quick save just in case anything weird happens. Like the last time that I... Oh, finally! I was beginning to think you guys were just going to leave me to do the entire battle by myself. Although actually their role is just to... He's running away. The Butcher of the East, everyone. It's this This is the man that, you know, everyone's scared of. God, it's happening again. You literally just blew up your own guys there. You realise that? Oh, vision's going blurry. Oh, come on, Linus, will you just bloody die? Oh, for God's sake. Get any cycle. Didn't even speak to the legate. That was a bit chaotic, wasn't it? Oh well, that's half the fun. I think we'll switch back to my other outfit for the end of the game. Is this guy gonna keep running? You just actually run and let the dogs out. There was no need, that was just senseless canine death. Absolutely unnecessary. And none of this means anything. It's made me kill those dogs for no reason. There. Anyway. Okay. That was about unnecessary. I got through the gate without blowing it up.
That's a fine bit of work back there. Truth told, I'm surprised you made it out of there in one piece.
Me too.
You and the dam.
Where were your
I'm
guys?
impressed, to say the least, and that's no easy thing. You've secured NCR's future.
By
the
myself.
administration sends its thanks for what it's worth.
Couldn't have done it alone. I bloody well did do it alone. What happens now?
Clean up, take prisoners, watch the east for any more trouble from the Legion. Though I think they're still running, according to our scouts. After that, we'll see what happens when the dust settles and how the Mojave looks now without Caesar coming for its throat. Something tells me we better enjoy this breather while we can. And if that means Vegas, then you and the troops have earned it.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I'm
Can't
gonna...
keep the courier spirit down, eh?
Yeah.
Fair enough. We'll clean up here. Kind of curious how this is going to pan out in the long run. But I guess history will tell us in its own sweet time.
I guess it will. I think
And so
we'll have to
the
wait
courier
for
who had
season
cheated
2 of the
death in
TV show for
cemetery
that, though.
outside Good Springs cheated death once again, and the Mojave wasteland was forever changed. The new California Republic celebrated its second victory at Hoover Dam, establishing definitive control over the entire Mojave Wasteland. Soon after, they negotiated terms to annex the Strip, Freeside, and many surrounding communities. The Mojave Wasteland, at long last, had entirely fallen under the NCR's banner. The Courier, fair and even-handed in her dealings throughout the wasteland, was honored by the NCR for her support of the military at Hoover Dam.
Support of the military. Support.
She was presented with the Golden Branch, the highest civilian decoration given by the Republic.
I bloody well hope so.
With the help of the Gunrunners,
basically,
the Boomers developed a healthy trading
it was
relationship
me and the
with
Boomers
the
that did all the
NCR.
work, but anyway.
Eventually, the Boomers began wandering out into the wasteland, while still preventing outsiders from entering Nellis.
The Brotherhood and the NCR in the Mojave Wasteland declared an official truce, despite continued hostilities between the two in the west. As per their agreement, the NCR handed over all suits of salvaged power armor, and in return, the Brotherhood helped patrol I-15 and Highway 95.
Fair.
Never weakened by NCR, the Fiends staged an attack against Camp McCarran during the Second Battle of Hoover Dam. Though NCR repulsed the Fiends, they suffered heavy losses in the process.
Yeah.
After the NCR's victory at the dam, the followers of the Apocalypse were pushed out of Old Mormon Fort during its occupation by NCR forces. NCR further encouraged them to leave Outer Vegas entirely, and the followers had no choice but to comply.
Goodsprings saw more trade along I-15 after NCR gained control of the Mojave Wasteland. But with that came a heavy burden of the Republic's taxes. Some old-timers, unable to handle the cost, were forced to move on, grumbling all the while.
During the Battle of Hoover Dam, the Great Khans quickly evacuated Red Rock Canyon and headed north and east into the plains of Wyoming. There, they reconnected with the followers of the Apocalypse and rebuilt their strength. Bolstered by ancient knowledge of governance, economics, and transportation, they carved a mighty empire out of the ruins of the Northwest.
After the NCR victory at Hoover Dam, the temporary truce between them and the Kings blossomed into a full-scale relief effort for the people. While the NCR made repeated entreaties that Freeside join the Republic, the Kings steadfastly maintained their independence.
After
not
Hoover
bad.
Dam, the leaderless powder gangers at the correctional facility vanished into the wastes, leaving the prison empty. The correctional facility became another abandoned ruin in the wasteland, its carcass occasionally picked over by enterprising prospectors.
Armed with a wide array of improvised explosives and stolen weapons, the Vault 19 powder gang tormented the Mojave Wasteland for years. Citizens of the NCR were favorite targets, and they always suffered the worst fates.
After Hoover Dam, Sheriff Myers runs Prim with his own style of frontier justice. He deals with most folks fairly, but now and then someone winds up dead with little to no evidence against them.
And so the Courier's road came to an end, for now. In the new world of the Mojave Wasteland, fighting continued, blood was spilled, and many lived and died just as they had in the old world. Because war never changes.
War never changes. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, it's, I mean, I have to say, in terms of, you know, for what is best for the Mojave and the Vegas area and on the whole, they could do worse than NCR. NCR, certainly not perfect by any means. General Oliver's a bit of a prick. I don't like him. I don't like the way he speaks to the player character, even when you're on their side. He's quite, I don't know, there's something about him that just kind of rubs me up the wrong way, I think. But and obviously the attack on Camp McCarran, if you do 3-card bounty, and if you take out like Motor Runner and Vault 3, you do a lot of damage to the Fiends, which means that I think they still try and attack Camp McCarran, but they're easily defeated because they've been weakened. Just kind of highlights that, you know, doing the side quests and things in this game can make quite an impact on the outcome even for larger groups in the wasteland, and that's kind of part of the thing that you get this sort of ending slideshow, and it kind of shows you the impact of your decisions on these different groups. Like, you can, if you spend some time doing side quests for Julie Farkas and the Followers of the Apocalypse, you can get them to ally with the NCR, and that's a more favourable outcome where the followers stay in the area and they help. We got some kind of agreement between the NCR and the Brotherhood, which can only really be beneficial for both groups and for the area, that, you know, the Brotherhood then agreed to help kind of patrol the Long 15 and keep order and things on the road, which can only be a good thing. But whether that'll stay that way between the NCR and the Brotherhood in the long term, and that's the kind of interesting thing about it. You know, I say I got a bit confused because it's been that long since I've done an NCR run through. I actually couldn't remember how different the NCR version of the Battle of Hoover Dam is versus when you do it as, like, for Independent Vegas, or you do it for Mr. House, because you don't get sent to see General Oliver first. You know, you're more of a kind of freelancer that's just helping out kind of thing, and I was making jokes about it, but you know, it's as much as I love this game, and you know, I don't think I've played a bad Fallout game. Fallout 76 had its problems when it came out, but playing it with friends, I still had fun even when it was extremely buggy and ridiculous and things, and there was a lot of issues with it. I believe it's a lot better now, but in all honesty, online gaming like that, it's not really my kind of thing. I do prefer the kind of single player adventures anyway, but out of all the Fallout games, this one is probably my favourite. I think for, you know, the storyline and the fact that, you know, there's not really any doubt about it that this game, more than any Fallout game and more than many RPGs in general, really does give you the opportunity to tell your own story the way you want to tell it. It's you know, you've got so many options and so many different approaches to things, as well as having the 4 endings. There's actually so many different endings depending on which groups you decide to help, which groups you decide to annihilate, and whether you play a, you know, sort of good karma character, a neutral karma character, you know, sort of mercenary type of thing, or even playing as an evil character. And, you know, the fact that you can basically kill pretty much anybody in this game except for Yes Man, so you can just annihilate everybody that you meet, and you'll get an ending. It's probably not a great ending, but you'll get an ending. But I think that's the thing, and I think that's what so many people do love about this game, is the fact that you can tell a story the way you want to tell it, the way you want to do it. And, you know, it encourages you to investigate and find different ways round, and, you know, it's you can approach things depending on what skills you've invested in and what perks you've maybe taken. Like, when you'll note when it happens, one of your options, if you've taken Animal Friend, which, let's face it, very few people do, take Animal Friend because you need Charisma 6 for it, which nobody does in this game, and that's the whole kind of gameplay issue that is problematic because it's so easily exploitable. But if you do take Animal Friend, when you come out at Hoover Dam, you saw there's a soldier there with a dog. You can borrow that dog that'll sniff out the guy with the bomb for you. So, you know, you've got that, and there's just so many different approaches to a lot of these quests and things, and that's what makes it so interesting. And, you know, the fact that the result that you get, it depends on not only just how much effort you've put into things, but also what decisions that you've made. And you know, there's no doubt that Fallout New Vegas really does shine in that regard. There is a degree of that in the other games, and, you know, I don't think the fact that everybody kind of says, oh, Fallout 3 is just not interesting enough and doesn't give you any options to do anything different. I don't think that's really true with Fallout 3. I think Fallout 3 and Bethesda take a different approach to telling a Fallout story, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But, you know, there are certainly issues in terms of you know, kind of contrived circumstances and things sometimes, I think, and Fallout New Vegas can be a wee bit guilty of that occasionally too, but on the whole, it really doesn't, and it does give you that freedom, and that's that. I know that's what a lot of people like about the game, and it's what I like about the game as well. And I think part of it as well is just the area. I mean, I've only ever been to the States twice, and the first time was actually to go to Vegas for a friend's wedding, actually, and I went for a week, and my dad came with me as well, mainly because he was paying for it because I was still a student at the time. But, you know, we had a really, really great time. Oh, there's Matthew Perry. I saw actually recently that somebody had made a mod to put a little memorial to Matthew Perry in this game, because obviously he voices Benny and he died recently. I actually was talking about his voice acting as Benny with a friend when I found out that he'd died. It's pretty sad, because he was, I mean, you know, he was a popular one for friends as well, but he obviously had a lot of kind of personal issues in his life as well, unfortunately. But yeah, just it's such a sweet little gesture that somebody's made that as a mod, that you can have just a little kind of in-game memorial to Matthew Perry. That's really kind of sweet thing. But yeah, so that's the kind of NCR ending, and I say it's a bit different, and again, that's a thing that I quite like as well, is that, you know, depending on who you're siding with, the approach to how the endgame works is a bit different, and it's not all just the same thing, because it wouldn't be that interesting. And I think that's maybe where Fallout 4 kind of suffered a little bit, because they obviously tried to emulate this kind of 4 factions, 4 different endings thing from Fallout New Vegas, but I don't think they pulled it off quite as well, because, you know, unless you side with the Institute, the ending's almost the same. I mean, how you get into the Institute to assault it differs slightly, because obviously if you side with the Brotherhood, they use Liberty Prime, because of course they do, and, you know, it's kind of different approaches and things, but ultimately you basically end up doing the same thing anyway. And that is something that I'll talk more about when I get round to doing the Fallout 4 story, because I do love that game as well, but the storyline, not great. And again, I feel like sometimes there's definitely some weird moments in there, and there's some kind of weird contrived circumstances that I don't really kind of like. I mean, at the end of the day, just like when you're writing a book, or, you know, you're directing a movie or anything, at the end of the day, what you need is to keep your audience interested and keep them immersed in the world and in the story that you're telling and in the world that you've created, and that's why I wanted to do the science series of looking at the creatures, looking at radiation, looking at some of the kind of recurring themes and the world building of the Fallout universe, because it's really, really important when you're telling a story. And there's that concept of your kind of suspension of disbelief, and especially it applies to things like science fiction and fantasy, that if you can keep that suspension of disbelief for your reader, for your viewer, for your player, and keep them immersed in the world by not jarring them out of it. So if something just blatantly makes no sense, it's really, really jarring. If somebody, the Deus Ex Machina just pulls a solution out of thin air all of a sudden, that doesn't, that's going to jar your audience out of their immersion, because they're going to be like, well, hold on, what the hell, where the hell did that come from? That makes no sense. So when you're building a world, you have to make it believable, and you have to have an in-game, in-world explanation for things, and as long as you can kind of give them that and keep them immersed and suspending their disbelief, and then you're going to keep them interested, and that's going to keep them following the story that you've created, that you want to tell. And the same thing applies to video games, and probably more so. You really want your video game universe to be immersive. You want there to be a rich history, and you want there to be an environment that suits the story that you're telling, that suits your themes. And Fallout from the get-go has done that spectacularly well. I mean, honestly, in terms of the world building, I can't fault anybody that's worked on this game in that aspect, from the art design, from the writing. There are some issues in the storylines and things, and certainly the kind of ending of Fallout 3, I'm not going to be defending that, because it is really, like, I can understand the theme that they were aiming for, but the way they approached it was just a mess. But on the whole, the world building and the design and the history and things, I mean, there's an entire background and history of this world that's been put together, and it's been expanded on through every game, and then into the TV series. And as I say, I've kind of mentioned this before, and I really don't agree that the retcons exist. And there's a moment I noticed when I was rewatching it the other week, where it was when Cooper Howard was talking to the guy in the bar who was going to the meetings, the Native American guy, and he said something about the cattle barons running the country or something, and them taking over. That wasn't, that was on purpose. That wasn't just a throwaway kind of simile. That meant something, because that's absolutely something that we see evidence for in this game, is that in the NCR, we are seeing the frontier of their expansion. We're not seeing what's happening at the core of the NCR and the capital, and the kind of political side of things. We are seeing some of the repercussions of the political stuff, but we're not seeing it. And that that's an issue that is brought up in this game, is that the Brahmin barons have got a lot of power and a lot of political sway, and they're using it to their advantage. And that means that things could, that things maybe aren't quite so perfect in Shady Sands, and quite so perfect in the home territory of the NCR. So I really don't agree with the discourse about Bethesda taking this game and throwing it out the window and ignoring everything that happened in it. To me, it really seems like they made sure that they included and took everything from this game into account when they were creating that new story. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind that that's the case. But it is something that was mentioned there about the NCR and what's going to happen in the future, from General Oliver of the NCR, what's going to happen in the future of the area, and we'll have to wait and see. And we'll have to wait and see what season 2 of the TV show is. I think that's going to be where we get any kind of answers, if we do get any kind of answers to what exactly happened in the Mojave. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But that's finished the kind of all the playthroughs just of the main story. I mean, I definitely could have got better endings if I'd spent more time side questing and things, but we'll get into a lot of that when I come to look into. I would like to kind of look into the NCR on the whole, and look at how it's developed as a nation and how its eventual kind of downfall and things. I think that'd be an interesting thing to really dig into at some point. I will also eventually put together a kind of real summary of my thoughts, and I mean it's quite late to write a review for this game, but really kind of examining the story as a whole and how I feel about it, and where I think that it's maybe a bit weaker, and where I think its strengths are and things. I've talked a lot about it as I've gone through this, but I think I'd like to put together a wee summary of my thoughts and what I think of everything, and then I think the question is what to do next in this section of things. So I can either go to another game and maybe start looking at Fallout 3's main story, which is certainly one option. The other option is to kind of dig into some of the DLC for Fallout New Vegas, and certainly to my mind I really would like to get stuck into Old World Blues sooner rather than later, because, well, if nothing else, it's my favourite DLC. I love Old World Blues. I just think the writing is top notch, the story is fascinating, the characters are hilarious, the whole thing is just absolute chaos, and it just embraces that chaos, and there's just so much weirdness and so much randomness to find in Old World Blues, and I haven't really touched on it too much other than in the Bloatfly video where we went to visit the legendary Bloatfly, but it is one. So let me know what you think. If you want to see my thoughts on Fallout 3, it's certainly something that I do want to get into, is the other Fallout games, and I'd also but I would like to kind of get stuck into the DLCs as well, and especially Old World Blues and the other kind of the other DLCs for this game, because I've never really properly played through Dead Money, I have to admit. I've found it quite confusing and things, but it's certainly something that I would like to explore, and the Lonesome Road as well I think is fascinating. Ulysses is a really interesting character. There's a lot that's kind of interesting about him, and about the Lonesome Road, the divide and what happened there. It's very interesting, but let me know what you think in the comments. I'll maybe even put up a wee poll at some point and see what people are thinking that they're going to find the most interesting, because I can tackle them in any kind of order, but whether we take a break from New Vegas and do a different game and then come back to the DLCs later on, but I'll leave you for now. I think I can load the save prior to the Hoover Dam battle, because this will be the character, the version of the character that I'll take into the DLCs. Just she's at decent level and got some good guns and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this quite interesting, or entertaining if nothing else, because that battle I should have probably just spoke to the legate before I started shooting, but I thought it would be fun to just start fighting him, and the NCR weren't really as much help as they promised they would be, so you know. But that's us. So that's me signing off from Hoover Dam and from New Vegas for now, and we'll get back to it for some DLC at some point in the future. Bye.